Join me, 48 Hours correspondent Erin Moriarty, on my podcast, My Life of Crime, as I take on true crime investigations like no other. This season, I'm looking into the labyrinth of crime and secrets within families. I'm cutting straight to the evidence and talking to the people directly involved, including investigators and the families of victims. Listen to My Life of Crime with Erin Moriarty wherever you get your podcasts.
Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, gonna be talking about Azealia Banks. You know, she's somebody that just loves to be in that public eye, loves to have that attention, and so I'm gonna give her that attention. I'm gonna give her that attention for this podcast episode. And you know what? Like I said in the video that I did about her, if I get canceled, I really don't care. Well, who's going to cancel me? Her fans? I could care less if her fans cancel me. What power do her fans have? It's like, that's how overall, like, low budget her career is that we don't even know whether or not this woman has fans. Like, one of my friends told me, and this is like one of the first few times where it's like, I really don't trust what this friend said, but she told me that Azealia Banks got fans, and I'm like, oh, okay, then I'm like, then I must be the most famous content creator of all time. Like, I'm sorry, I just don't, I don't believe that. I believe that I have more fans than Azealia Banks. And I'm like, and I mean, I've talked on that a lot where I feel like I don't be getting enough support, but no, like, I truly do not believe that this woman has fans. But no, let's overall talk on these. So let's talk on the events leading up to her most recent event, on where she felt like she needed to talk on a comedian. His name is DC Young Fly. She felt like that she needed to have a say-so in his significant other passing. Like, she thought that she has like this higher power or something to where it caused the death of DC Young Fly's significant other. And I'm gonna just say, like, you know, my video, so the video that I made on her, I felt like that I held back. I'm gonna try my hardest not to hold back. So whatever I got running through my mind, I'm gonna say that about that girl, or at least allude to what I want to say, so you guys can, you know, put the puzzle together yourself if I'm not allowed to say, because there are some things I want to say about this woman where I'm like, I don't know how that would go against the guidelines of, you know, the podcast platform that I post on. But I will say that, you know, upstairs in that girl's small brain, that she definitely has something going on. And I'm like, and there's an explicit word that I would like to call her, but I can't, you know, do the guidelines. So I'm pretty sure, you know, you guys can maybe somewhat piece it together. Hold on for a sec. Let me get a drink of water real quick. All right, I'm back. So, but no, let's overall talk on the events leading up to why she was recently trending. So, some years ago on a TV show called Wild 'N Out, a TV show that DC Young Fly, Nick Cannon, I mean, a lot of people come from that show. They emerge their careers. I've never seen anybody from that show where their career declined. It seemed like everybody's career has always excelled when they're on Wild 'N Out, right? So anyways, DC Young Fly has been on there for some time. And I think it was like, so the Wild 'N Out had ended at some point, and then it came back. I don't think it was that first season. I think it was either the second or third season when they made their comeback, when DC Young Fly, where he was introduced onto the show. Now, I knew of DC Young Fly prior beforehand, because this was at a point in time when, like, Vine was a thing, Vine compilations on YouTube was a thing, all that. Like, Vine was just overall a thing, right? And I followed him on Vine. I watched all his videos on Vine. So anyways, he ends up getting hired on to Wild 'N Out, maintains his status on that show, ends up being one of the best cast members to ever, like, be on that show. And so at some point, they decided to invite Azealia Banks on that show. Now, I think everybody knew who who Azealia Banks was, and that's why they were overall inviting her onto the show. They knew that, you know, something was going to overall be stirred up, you know, some sort of drama. They had to know, but at the same time, they probably didn't think it was going to be as bad, all right? So anyways, for those that don't really know who Azealia Banks is, Azealia Banks, she's just overall somebody that's just toxic online. She claims that she's a musician, but I'm like, I have yet to actually sit down and listen to any of her music. I tried. Her music is horrible. Like, I'm gonna just be flat out honest with you. Like, I feel like that I've made better music when I was 12 than the music that she makes now. And I'm like, fam, you have like a studio you could go to. You're signed to a record label. I'm saying, like, here it is. I'm just out here making music off of a mouse and a keyboard off of my computer. And then I was at one point making music off of a PSP. I'm saying, I'm like, and I felt like I made better music then. So that's why I'm like, no. She claims that she's a musician, but I'm like, fam, we don't know you for your music, okay? Like, take a good look at your time that you spent on social media. Then what's funny is that, so in these like series of posts that she made on Instagram, and that's what overall like what I'm going to be really talking about is these posts that she made, is that she tried to get on people about being on social media, but I'm like, fam, you literally built your success off of just you being toxic on social media. So you should be the last one talking about people using social media, and that's literally how you built your career. All right, but anyways, all right, so getting back to this episode of Wild and Out. So they invited her onto the show. There's a segment that they would usually do called, "Oh, my team captain is so fly," and they'd be like, Nick Cannon, you know, he went platinum and all his music is trash. But they're saying it as a joke. That's something where Nick Cannon would laugh about. That's something that anybody else would laugh about. This just jokes, all right? But so I think that was a joke that they did. They said something along the lines like he went platinum and ain't sold no record. No, yeah, I think that was the joke. He went platinum and sold no records. And so, but they'll say some stuff like that, right? So they changed it, and they was like, my team captain is so petty for Azealia Banks. And so, yeah, they was like, oh, my team captain is so petty, blah, blah, blah. So it got to DC Young Fly. And he goes on to say, my team captain is so petty, he couldn't get Cardi B, so he got Azealia Banks, ugly ASS. But all right, so let me just pause on this story right there. So to just kind of explain DC Young Fly, that's how he talks to everybody. He will literally say like okay, I'm not gonna say the explicit, the middle word, but he'll look at you and he'll be like, ugly little boy, ugly little girl. He says that to everybody. All right, I'm pretty sure if there was ever a day where we would meet and I'm looking a certain way, he's gonna look at me and he's like, you know, you an ugly little boy, and I'm like, fam, I can't help it. Okay, like I'm sorry. All right, my genetics, they grew all over the place. But that's the thing though. I wouldn't be offended. Why? Because that's who he is. That's how he talks, all right? The thing is this, all right, so just to give you guys a better example, me and DC Young Fly, he wouldn't just go out and just say, you know, you an ugly little boy and stuff. No, but we'll be sitting down talking. He like, man, he'll like say something just roasting you and things, all like, oh man, he was like, your shoes, they look tight. He was all like, ugly little boy. I'm like, and that's just how he talks. That's just how he ends. That's like his version of a period, okay? So that's what he said to Azealia Banks. He was all like, the joke was, my team captain talking on Nick Cannon is so petty, he couldn't get Cardi B, so he got Azealia Banks, ugly little girl. Like, however, okay, well, you could just go out and just watch the clip. I don't want to say the explicit words and stuff, because, again, don't know how that stuff is. I think you can cuss on a podcast, but I'm like, I ain't trying to risk it. There might be some point in time down the road where they're all like, oh nope, can no longer curse in your podcast episodes. I'm like, all right, just to eliminate myself from getting my podcast taken down, I ain't even gonna say it. All right. So, but anyways, she took some offense to that, not to what the joke was, but she made it seem like that he was talking about her skin color. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you can look up DC Young Fly and you can look up Azealia Banks. they're literally the same complexion, all right? Maybe one might be a couple of shades, a shade darker or lighter than the other, but you guys are literally the same complexion. If not that, you guys are the same race. Now, yes, there can be people that could be racist to their own race. If that's the case, DC Young Fly has been racist to his own race the whole time he's been on that show. Because I'm saying, if that's the picture that you're trying to paint out, then bruh, it's something that it's like, we laugh about it, we joke about it, all right? But so she took offense to it. And then at that point, she felt that she needed to start talking on this man's personal life, talking about like, oh no, so that's how she started off. So she goes on, they're like continue on, and then at some, like maybe a joke or two later, she grabs the microphone and she's all like, hey, remember that guy that was in that video and he was all like, I don't like men's no more? Don't that guy kind of look like him? DC Young Fly don't look nothing like that guy. Like, I saw that video numerous times. That DC Young Fly don't look anything like that guy. She was just only saying that just to be petty and things. So anyways, so he's just laughing and stuff, running around the like the place that they were performing at. And then she goes and grabs the microphone again and was all like, you know, enjoy your lap around the theater because this is as far as you're going to get and stuff. Living in like your stick apartment or something like, or like studio apartment, whatever the situation was. And it's like, okay, what if he's happy about that? Let's just say all that stuff is true, right? He seems pretty happy where he's at in life. So that's why I'm like, fam, like that's why DC Young Fly, I take a lot of inspiration from that man because he seems like he's in a good spot. Like he made the right moves and stuff. So anyways, DC Young Fly, he grabs a microphone because like, no, she was just like going off. And I think if DC Young Fly wouldn't have never like stopped to say something, she probably most likely would have still kept on going. So anyways, he grabs the microphone and he was all like, you know, if there's he was like, if there's anybody you should be mad at, you should be mad at your dentist. He left the bottom wires and then kept the tops or something like that, however that joke went. Then he made this face. And I think that's what sent everybody over the edge. Like everybody just busted out and started laughing. Next thing you know, Azealia Banks, she breaks down in tears and start crying. Now I'm just going based off of what I heard. That wasn't aired in the episode. I think how they did it was that they just cut to the next part of the joke after like time done passed by. Because so what, according to the other people that was there, so after DC Young Fly had said that, they had sorry if I'm pausing a lot, whatever, but anyways, but as soon as DC Young Fly had said that, she ran off the stage crying. And then at that point they had to like pause the show, and I think they said that they had to pause the show for like an hour and a half on some stuff like that. And I'm like, oh nah, I just told that girl like, look, if you ain't cut out for the show, then fam, like we'll pay you, but just go home. It's like we're not here for that. And I'm like, no, we're not here for that. So I'm like, because I'm saying like this is a show where it's like the thing is this, if you had been smart enough, right, to do your research, go look up what this show is about. She thought it was like some Nickelodeon show or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself like, if you don't see like MTV producers and executives or whatever, like, yeah, I imagine they're not wearing t-shirts and things, but you most likely be able to see that it's not a Nickelodeon environment. Look at the crowd. Do you see any kids in that crowd? No, you do not. So what made you think, all right, in that small head of yours, what made you think that it was a Nickelodeon show? Why? Because Nick Cannon was there? Bro, do you know how many? So, like, all right, so if you're going and doing a zombie apocalypse movie and they got Miley Cyrus in the movie, therefore, does it make it a Disney movie? Or if they got one of the voice actors from SpongeBob doing a action-packed thriller movie, does that make the movie about SpongeBob? It's like, fam, like, come on now, how slow are you? Like, seriously, how slow are you? Because it doesn't, it's like, if the thing is this, if I'm being invited to something or somebody wants me to be a part of something, I'm going to do my research. But I'm not just going to go and be like, oh, well, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to be that dumb and stupid to just not knowing things. So that's why I'm like, no, there's no way possible. So they ended up having to pause the show for like an hour and a half. She's having this breakdown, and I think eventually they did, bring the, they were managed to get her, calm her down, get everybody back on stage. So here's the thing: what confuses me, because I don't know if she cried after that segment was over or if she cried at the halfway point. Because if she cried at the halfway point of that segment and then they just went right back to doing what they were doing, playing the Too Petty game, she still was cracking jokes on him after he had said that. And I think that's when she started talking on like his living conditions, and he just fell out. And DC Young Fly, he just fell out and was laughing like, why won't she just leave me alone and stuff. So anyways, that's how that went. And so the thing is this, what confuses me is because she's making it seem like that she was the only one being attacked. Like she didn't also do some sort of attacking. Like, you also was talking on this person, right? So how is it that you're gonna get mad? And it's like, fam, it's like stuff that you just gotta write off. Like, you threw shots, he threw shots, but it wasn't. The thing is this, you mistaken. It's like, I feel like that he wasn't even really trying to offend you or upset you and things. You just took offense and got yourself upset for no reason, because that's one thing about her, is that she comes off as somebody that acts like a child. Like, no, like on some serious stuff, like I really do feel like that she just acts like a child everywhere she goes. It doesn't matter, what the situation is. She just acts like a child. And I'm like, fam, she comes off as that person, like she'll throw a fit at a restaurant because, they're not giving her Red Lobsters isn't giving her some biscuits. So now she has to like lay down on the floor and start crying and throwing a fit. And it's like, fam, you claimed in your post that you made recently that you're 32 years old, yet you act like you're 2. You act like a child. Like, she's going through her. How is it that you're going through your tantrum 2s at 32 years old? That's sad. You should not be at that age. And the fact that there are people younger than you that can act more mature than you, yeah, you shouldn't be at that age where you're carrying on like that. Like, no, it's just, it gets to a point in time where it's like you have to grow up, all right? So anyways, after that, and then so I think it was the very next day, I remember she started going off on Nick Cannon, and I remember she said something about like a health condition that he had at one point. I can't remember the extent of it, but she brought that up, and I'm thinking to myself like, fam, that's not cool. Like, that's not making, your case more better and things. Like, no, you're making it more worse for yourself. So yeah, she was just overall, she was wilding out on that show and stuff. But anyways, so fast forward, maybe a week ago, it was like partly about a week ago, almost maybe a week ago. I don't know exact like time frame and things. It probably was. Hold on, let me check my calendar real quick. So it was like a week and a day ago. So DC Young Fly's significant other, she had tragically passed away. And it was something where I was like, I remember I was scrolling and I saw like pray for DC Young Fly. DC Young Fly was trending and stuff, and I'm like, man, just please don't. Like, nah, please don't. And it was like worst case scenario. And then when I saw it was his significant other, I was like, my heart still has sank for this man, because I'm like, I can't imagine losing a significant other. And so it's like being in that position, and it's like, yeah, that was something where I was like, nah, that's sad. I was like, I really felt for DC, because I'm like, nah, it's like you make it so far in life and then you have a setback like this. And I'm like, but that's one thing that he did. He made a post today saying that he's a God-fearing man, and so that's why I just like, the thing is this, like, my heart still feels for this man, but I know he's gonna be okay. Like, that's one thing about that I just feel like with DC is that, he's going to be okay. Like, despite this probably being some of the most stressful, it probably is his most stressful moment in his life, that I just know that he's going to be all right. I just know that and stuff. So that's why I'm like, yeah, DC, he comes off as a very strong individual. And I'm like, if he wasn't, I'm like, I think that his career would have never taken off. But I think that that's why he's just so cut out for this, is because he's such a strong individual. And I'm pretty sure there's probably a lot of cast members that came on to Wild 'N Out where they look to him as motivation. Like, how can you like go through like somebody cracking a joke on you or whatever, and you just roll with it. You're just okay. And I'm like, DC Young Fly, there was ever a time where I was going on that show, I definitely would consult with him on some sort of advice, like what, like, I overall know what to expect from the show, but like, what is some like key advice that you can give me, for appearing on this show and things. But I know one thing for sure, that I definitely will crack. Like, if there is ever a time where I do get invited onto Wild and Out and DC Young Fly is on there, because I'm trying to think, like, I don't know if that would, like, see, now I'm like thinking about it. I was like, before then, I was like, yeah, if I was like before the passing of his significant other, I always had thought that, where I was like, I would crack like some sort of Azealia Banks joke if DC Young Fly was on the show. But now I'm like, I just don't want to give her that platform, and I don't want to put DC Young Fly in a mindset where he feels like he needs to be angry or something, because I didn't like mentioned this girl's name or whatever, or I ain't did something to remind him of that of her. Because yeah, I feel like now, like, whatever bridge she could have possibly had to make things right with Wild and Out, Nick Cannon, DC Young Fly, though, that bridge is burned. That bridge, it burnt down, blew up. Like, it's gonna take a while for that bridge to be rebuilt back up and things. But so anyways, but that when I did see the news, though, that was one thing that crossed my mind, was that I know I'm gonna have to talk on Azealia Banks. I know I'm gonna have to say something about her, because she's gonna say something about DC Young Fly and this situation that he's in. And sure enough, she goes on Instagram yesterday, starts running her mouth, and I'm thinking to myself, like, fam, it never would have been the good time, but it definitely, it's not right now. And so that's why I'm like, with Azealia Banks, you could definitely tell that she has a lot of, growing up to do and things. Like, like I said, something is wrong with her, like, that's, I don't know what mental illness she suffers from, but and I feel like medication would just make it worse. So that's why I'm like, I just, it's one of those things where it's like, it just has to naturally go away. But I feel like it's so deeply embedded into her that this is how she's going to carry on for the rest of her life. This woman's going to be 60, 70, 80 something years old. Still nobody don't care about her music. Still nobody ain't really messing with her like that. And she's still going to try to be toxic. And she's still going to try to be relevant in conversations that ain't got nothing to do with her. Just like with this and this whole situation with DC Young Fly. What does this have to do with you? You thinking like, oh, I'm this, the chosen one, God, he's protecting me, so therefore he's gonna take a life for you. I'm sorry, but when they start talking like that, it's like you give people a reason to like look at religion a bad way. And here it is, it's like you got people like myself where it's like you're trying to teach, like, just overall, like, teach religion, but in a good way, where it's like, you're being a protector, you're being caring towards others around you and stuff. And here it is, it's like you got somebody like her that's trying to use religion for bad. So it's like, you can't blame religion, no, this is all on you. This is 100% all on you for your lack of capability to just think. And I don't know what it is that this girl got going on, but it's like, fam, you don't need social media, okay? You don't need music. You don't need none of that stuff. You need to be off in an asylum by yourself in a room, okay? Playing with little toys or whatever, to just keep you going throughout the day. But you don't need to be out in the general public. She's somebody where it's like, if internet access was taken away from her, I would not lose no sleep at night at all. Because it's like she gets on social media and there was at one point in time where she was beefing with Lana Del Rey, and I'm like, why are you beefing with her? What has Lana Del Rey done to you to where I feel like if there's anybody in this world that's like, just chilled and just off to themselves, is Lana Del Rey. What did she do to you? And Lana Del Rey, I remember she did put her in check, and I was like, that's something where I'm like, nah, I truly do think Lana Del Rey, she would she would drop that woman. She would drop Azealia Banks in a fight, in a straight up street fight. No, Lana Del Rey, she seems like the type where she like works out low key and she'll hurt somebody bad. And so, but besides that, and then what was the last thing that she did? She was cooking a dead cat. I'm saying, like, and you thinking you're normal. You're not normal. And it's not even like you're not normal in a good way. Like, no, you're not normal. Like, you need help. You need some sort of mental help. Because what you got, hey, more power to, if she got a therapist or somebody that's in her life, more power to you, because it's going to take everything in this world to get this woman to just remotely act normal, all right? But so anyways, I feel like that. I still feel like I held back. So who knows? I might do like a part 2 or a bonus extra and things if I still can think of some more stuff to say. But Azealia Banks, she has issues, and that's something where I'm like, I don't know why you feel like you need to carry on the way that you carry on, but the thing is this: karma will make its way around to her and stuff. And I do feel like whether it's stuff like this where you got somebody like me where it's you talking about her and things, or it's just whatever karma that she has to deal with on her own, she will deal with karma at some point in time. So but anyways, and that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. I ain't gonna do no promo stuff, but anyways, thank you guys and peace.